Hey, welcome to Waking Up to Win.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Chad.
And this is your space for real estate motivation, mindset, and the kind of coaching that pushes you from stuck to a top producer.
We are all about helping agents work on their business, not just run ragged in it.
And we believe there is more than enough room at the top for everyone to win.
Let's dive in.
Hi, Chad.
Hi.
Are you a little under the weather today?
I am. All of a sudden. Don't know why.
All right. I'm sorry.
This will be the last thing I do today, though. It's almost the first thing I did, too.
Okay, so the only thing you're doing, that's great, though. That's how important this is.
I did have one meeting this morning, which I think is what caused it, but we'll not go into details on the podcast.
Okay. Little stomach issue, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it.
I know. You got an inspirational quote? I'm not feeling very inspirational today.
I do. Shared this on our morning phone call today. All right. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place where nothing grows. Every meaningful achievement exists outside it. Every breakthrough requires stepping into discomfort. Expand the zone or accept the life inside it. No third option exists. I just thought that was really good.
It is really good. I was sitting here in this room. I mean, I heard it this morning and I thought of different things, but then also sitting here in this room and listening to you read it, I'm like, it makes me go, what, a year and a half ago, you would have never sat in this chair because it made you uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And now
I have still never watched an episode of this because I would critique it, but no, it's so true.
Yeah.
And I think that when I read it, so we did a call a couple of weeks ago about comfort zone, which is kind of a paradigm shift for me. I think as society, we were taught to be comfortable. You work really hard so you can live in comfort. You know, you want your big cozy chair and you're doing nothing and you're, like we have gone away from always trying to grow and to be better. And so reading it, I was like, wow, it's so true. And I'm sure I've shared my Ray Kroc thing a million times, but when you're green, you're growing. And when you're ripe, you rot.
Yeah.
And it's just another way of saying that, but it's so true to always be growing.
It's true.
I love it.
I think you can grow and in there too, like grow and be comfortable at the same time.
Nope.
You can.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not according to my quote.
Read it again.
Okay. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place where nothing grows. Every meaningful achievement exists outside it. Every breakthrough requires stepping into discomfort. Expand the zone or accept the life inside it. No third option exists.
Right. But so, that's interesting that you hear that way. And not how I hear what you just said. Like when you say that, I hear it's comfortable. There's no growth in your comfort zone. Doesn't mean your comfort zone is bad. It just means that if you want to grow, you have to step up. You don't have to give up.
That's exactly how I hear it.
Your comfort zone.
Absolutely. I know I totally hear it that way, but you just have to know you're not growing in that.
No, yeah. What's comfortable is comfortable, and it's not going to change. It's going to be repetitive.
So if you have
habitual,
if you have the
doesn't mean
perfect
you
life,
have to stop doing those things.
Right. But you're not growing in there, and that's the part that,
But outside your comfort zone, when you do step outside of that and you start, even with you in the podcast, like you step outside of that, then that becomes part of your comfort zone too.
Absolutely. But then you got to keep pushing yourself and keep growing.
Yeah, you got to keep pulling
keep growing
things into your comfort zone, right? Make it comfortable for you.
Right.
Whatever you want to do.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to stay stagnant.
Rot.
I mean, like
ripe you rot.
At some point, I'm going to be old and want to rot because I'm just done with it.
But maybe not.
We'll see.
I'm old and I'm still green and growing.
Oh, you ain't that old.
Okay.
Act like you're old.
Aaron, mark this down. When Chad is almost 59 years old, we're going to ask him how old he is, how old he feels. And he's going to be like, man, I really made Annie do a lot of crap when she was an old lady.
All
right.
And you love it. Love me for it.
I like to be green and growing too.
I know
so
you do.
It's
you
good.
love to be challenged.
I do.
That's why we get along well. Because
that why we gamble.
Great at
Is
challenging
gambling out
people.
of your comfort zone?
I don't think that's out of the comfort zone. No.
Well, maybe the dollar amount.
Um,
That's enough of that. My husband might be
yeah,
listening to this
exactly.
podcast. And now you know.
What happened this week? Really for the
Um,
last 2 weeks because we took Thanksgiving off.
mm, I know. Haven't been too busy. We have a lot of new construction going on.
Yeah, I was actually the coffee I had this morning was talking about that, how the market's kinda dead.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I never like to acknowledge that because
Mhm.
I don't want to believe it. I don't because I believe that what you believe is changes how you behave. So I choose to believe that the market is not dead. And here I am.
Yes, there you are with no clients.
That's not true. I have many clients.
I know, I'm
We
kidding.
have a lot of new builds going on right now, which is probably the most we've ever had at one time.
Not the market's dead, the market's slow.
Yeah. So, um, we also have a new potential client. I thought this was an interesting topic we could discuss, which is um, staying in your sandbox, no matter how busy you are, when maybe you're not the expert in an area. So we have
Good
a,
lesson for
I
realtors.
know it is. We have a client who has a couple of cabins to sell in the Branson area. And, we obviously belong to that MLS now, so we could sell them. They're in Missouri. We're licensed to do that. This this client is a family friend who's interviewed 2 agents already before I had the conversation with them and wasn't happy with that and wants us to take care of him and to sell those. So, um, you and I had that conversation, but I don't think that we're best for that. It's not an area that we're familiar with. And so we have this whole referral program as real estate agents that we can do. And so that's what I'm doing, finding this client the number one agent that I believe will be the best for him in his area, the subject matter expert. And, the beauty of that is we still can be in contact with that agent. We can still be a part of the contract and we can be paid a referral fee. So it's kind of a win-win.
Right.
So,
Find yourself out, like, I think of it as especially when it's in state like that. I mean, you can do it anywhere, but it
right.
gets more difficult out of state to like know what you're talking about because you always have to have that caveat. Like I had one in Savannah, Georgia not too long ago, and they're asking me a bunch of questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
my state. So I don't know
That's how I felt
what the
about,
laws
right.
are. I don't know what,
Yeah.
all
That's,
of those kind of things are for you. But I could, I can ask your agent the questions and find out what you're trying to find out. Like,
but it is probably an easy, is it a slippery slope a real estate agent could go down because they want to do the transaction. They want to take care of their client. They want the sale. But my thought of that today, as I was pondering all the different choices, was, if I was going to see a doctor who specialized in one area, although he legally could probably, you know, do something that wasn't his expertise, I wouldn't want him to
yeah,
or her to. So we have to remember that, first and foremost, we have to take care of the client. So,
yeah.
but it's a great program. It's a great thing that real estate agents have. So
It's true. I mean, we work it into our business plans
we do.
here. So, I mean, there's a way to work that too. And, like, I feel like I'm a big advocate of getting involved with the association and stuff like that. In our state, we do conferences 3 times a year and we go to conduct the business of the state association. Our state association is fairly large compared to a lot of states.
Right.
Um, but, uh, and smaller than some other states too. But anyways,
And we have the whole entire Realty One group
it's a great opportunity to
network.
meet
Hmm.
agents outside of that. So like really working that from a business planning standpoint, are you collecting names and phone numbers? Are you communicating with those agents, telling them what's going on in St. Louis? Like
Right.
those types of things. Or are you just meeting people and hoping they remember you? It works the same as clients. Like, that's the part that
Well,
I'm like,
there's two parts of that.
a
There
lot of
is
people
that
don't
part.
take it to that level. They just
Right.
show up and they think by showing up, they're going to get all these referrals. And it's like, it doesn't really work that way.
Right. So there's that side, which is as an agent,
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself out there. But then there's also that side of making sure that everyone that's in your sphere of influence, regardless of where they live, know that you can help them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the great thing for our clients, no matter where they are, or for our, you know, friends and family across the country, is we can vet people for them. We
Yeah.
can find the best agents. We can ask the right questions. Once we know what their needs are, we can go find the perfect agent for them, where
Well, it's not even
they're
just
not doing that.
Yeah, it's not even just vetting them necessarily. It's when you talk to an agent, when you've talked to enough agents, however long that takes you, you can tell whether somebody knows what they're doing
100%.
just by having a conversation with them. Like, do they understand what
Right.
their job is? Do they understand their market? Do they,
Right.
all of those kind of things.
Yeah. When I found an agent in Branson, yeah, I felt super confident after having, and she was the second one that I talked to, but super confident that she's the one. If
Yeah.
I was selling that house, she'd be my gal. So,
Yeah.
yep. That's what happened this week.
That is a fun topic that people don't. I know. And we're going to make that a bigger deal in business planning this year, because I just think realtors leave a lot of money on the table.
Yeah. I mean, we typically do, I don't know, what, 4 to 6 a year?
Something like that.
And just our deals, not the agents, but
Right.
yeah.
I mean, it's an extra $15,000 depending on what you're referring a year. So, and it could be more than that. We don't really work at hardcore like that either. We're
No.
really good at letting our clients know that we can refer out.
Right.
We are not really good at doing what
I'm not, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you don't even go anymore. There was a point in time where we were going together and it was like a thing. And then you were like, yeah, I'm over that. I'm not going anymore. And I
To
was
the
like,
conferences,
okay.
yeah.
To the conferences. I was like, okay, well, I'll go.
But-
And he said, but we don't really work it like that. But we should.
Right.
But you know what happens when you should all over yourself?
No, but I think we do
have to
it
take a shower.
within the Realty One group arena. We do a lot better. I do. I'm just letting that pass.
No, I'm
Feel
not
free to
going to
cut it
let
out,
you let
Mandy.
it pass. Aaron is dying. That was a good one. That is comedy gold. It's going to be our social media clip this week. What is going on in real estate?
Let's do the headlines.
Did you get your shit together with the headlines this week? Or are you going to read me the same fucking bullshit you
Okay.
do every week?
Oh, so it's okay when she's reading the same bullshit, you call her out. But you spent 4 weeks reading the same bullshit, and you actually said to me, well, that's the headlines. I can't make them up.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
I said, you can search
I
deeper.
apologize, Aaron. What is the headlines for the week?
doesn't-
Get your face in that microphone so they can hear you.
Okay. So a big one effective January 2026 is NAR MLS policy overhaul. There was a comprehensive update to the MLS handbook stemming from a major antitrust risk assessment. The headlines here point to decentralization and modernization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, NAR is saying, we're not going to be responsible for all this anymore. We're going to put that locally.
Right.
That's what they're, yeah.
That headline is confusing. I've seen that story, right? Like, so the underlying story there is that NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, in case you're watching this and you don't know what that is, hopefully you do, but NAR just did a massive audit of their policies, procedures, all of that kind of stuff, because they settled that antitrust lawsuit
For a lot of money.
a year and a half ago. Right. And at the end of the day, they can't afford another lawsuit. If they get another class action lawsuit that gains ground against them, they are going to go bankrupt.
Right.
So they did this audit and they're just plucking it to death, changing things and whatever.
Everything
And
I
like,
read, though, was
I don't think any of
just-
it's bad.
no, it's not bad, but they're just taking a lot of things and saying, okay, we're not going to make that a rule anymore, but you local MLSs can. We're going to take that off the table, but you guys can decide how you're going to do it.
Which is the way it should be.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's actually the way it was designed
They
to
got
work.
they got a little bit too
Yep. Big for their britches.
Even their their financials, they're changing how they do that, which I thought was, I had
didn't
no
read
idea.
that. What is
So they
say
are
more?
say more. So
Yeah.
so NAR is a nonprofit,
Yeah.
and so they don't have to publish their what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have to publish their report annually, and they never have. They're going to in 2026.
Mm.
They're going to publish that, so they have transparency. And then I was also reading that they're doing a zero-based budget, which I'm a fan of. They're no longer looking and saying, well, last year we spent this much money for travel, so we'll start there, but maybe we should increase that because costs have gone up. They're going back and saying, okay, where are you going? How is that benefiting the members? Do we really need to be going to that? So I thought that's a great change.
Yeah,
And I
for
think
sure.
a lot of organizations do not do a zero-based budget. They do a percentage, or this is a history of what we normally spend in travel, so let's just keep spending it
Yeah.
and increasing it for the cost of living. So
Sustain. Yeah.
I thought that was great.
That is great. The other thing that is good is the MLS changes that I think that was in that headline that she read it, or if not, it was in the news article, but so used to be that the MLS, and it still is in most places, but NAR policy mandated that you had to be a member of a local association in order to be a member of a realtor-owned MLS. So the MLSs are owned by a conglomerate of different associations, like our Maris, which is our MLS here, has, I can't remember, it was 9 or 10 association owners. So the association is a shareholder in the company and has a vote and all of that. So it's not it's not a private, MLS. It's not for profit. It's also a nonprofit.
Right.
The MLS is that's owned by a conglomeration of other nonprofits. But NAR had a policy that you had to join a local to get to a realtor-owned MLS, and they've removed that policy from their books from the national side. Now, they put a caveat in the memo that local MLSs can still choose to require membership in a local realtor association. It's just completely the discretion of the local MLS.
I'm just
now.
laughing right now at our use of AI, and I'm picturing what happened at NAR is they put all their policies in Gemini and said, tell us where we have risk of being sued again. And it said, why don't you take all of these things and give them to the local so they can
What's funny is I was
it.
watching it and I can't remember his name. I see his shit all the time on social media. He hates the National Association of Realtors, which I don't agree with most of what he says.
I don't know.
He just
hate is a little strong.
He says that himself.
I mean,
it's a little much, but also he's throwing out off the wall ideas and stuff like that. So, which is good for innovation and good for times of change and things like that. So, but anyways, I was watching him the other day and he said something about they really need to, and I don't know whether they've talked about this or not, but they really need to update their governance structure because. And this is where he becomes, but he has a valid point. The association is run by people who don't know what the hell they're doing. And so at the end of the day, there's a staff, but the staff doesn't make the decisions. The CEO doesn't make decisions. The decisions are made by the board of directors, which consists of thousands of people, most of whom are realtors or brokers, but they don't have experience, most of them, running a $1 billion organization.
I would think that got looked at with this restructuring of everything else they're doing. I can't imagine they passed that.
I just don't know that's kind of like the federal government giving up control. Like the states have the power to take some of that back, but are they ever going to?
NAR is worried about becoming irrelevant and extinct. The federal government is not. So I think there's a little bit more at stake here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I do think they need to update that because it is and the state association, Missouri, had recently just did that. They brought in a company and did an audit of their entire structure, all their policies, everything like that. And they made some big updates to the way that they run things up there in their policy, which is good. I mean, it pulls a lot of the like fiduciary responsibility back to the CEO, just to be able to be empowered to make money, because that's what the NAR CEO makes like $6 million a year just in salary.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I don't know whether that's accurate, but I know that it's in the millions. Because I remember reading it somewhere, but I can't remember. It was 3 or 6. Those two numbers are jumping in my head. But like, that we pay her a lot of money. She should be able to make decisions. And she can't right now. So, and the state association was the same way. And so they just changed a lot of that.
It's going to be interesting, though, as this gets pushed down locally and the liability and all of that. Then, to your point, who's running it and who's voting and who's making those decisions? Because before, you didn't have to do a lot of that because NAR was just telling you.
Yeah.
So, gonna all be
it's
interesting.
True. And I mean, the local associations, I was talking about that with an agent today or a broker today, that, the local associations are going to have to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And will they?
I don't know.
So, more to come.
What's the next headline?
The Great Housing Reset. So 2026 forecast. Affordability turning point. Multiple forecasts, including Redfin, Realtor.com, project the wage growth will finally surpass home price growth for the first prolonged period since the Great Recession, slowly improving affordability.
It's a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing. The market's going to be slow, though. Realtors are going to have to work.
Yeah, I don't know what the stat was that I read recently that for the average, maybe it's a first-time home buyer, or for the average family to buy a house, the amount of money you need is $110,000 a year. That's like the median salary. And that has doubled in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, $110,000, that's a good amount of money for a first-time home buyer, which is typically why you got to get married.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good salary for a young person to be making on their own.
It usually takes two, right?
When you look back, we have a lot less single people buying their first house.
No, and we have a lot more multi-general living. We have a lot more friends. Like, that's a trend in the market right now. I was watching a report on that the other day, or a show.
Friends? The show Friends?
No. Friends, younger, and it's really not millennials, but like Gen Z down, are starting to buy houses with their friends instead of...
We've had...
You know what I mean?
We've had a couple of those. But,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a trend in the market because they don't want to get married. They don't want to do that, but they need the two incomes. So they pool their resources. They buy a house. They live as roommates. And then they either rent it out or they sell it and split the proceeds when one of them gets married or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a trend going on right now because it takes two people to buy a house now, which is unfortunate.
Or one person with a really good income.
Yeah. Really good income.
What else you got? Anything else good?
Okay, last one. This came up quite a few times. The Zillow climate data controversy. News is circulating about Zillow's decision to remove First Street Foundation's climate risk ratings, for instance, flood fire risk, from its listings. Critics argue this leaves buyers flying blind as climate-driven insurance costs are surging, especially in high-risk markets like Florida and California.
It's not their job.
I don't understand why this is even a headline. I saw it, so I know it's a headline. Like, I was like, I would never in my life care as a consumer.
Yeah, but you know where to get the truth.
I just don't care.
You don't care if the house that you're buying, if that neighborhood is potentially a flood zone or fire hazard or some kind of climate issue.
But
it's not Zillow's job.
It's not Zillow's job. It's not Realtor's job. But also, it's not something that you can predict.
But they are.
I know that's the problem
Right.
I have with it.
Oh no, I'm glad
So like I
they're
never
doing
even
this.
looked at it. So now that it's going away is like no news to me.
I did
But
not know.
apparently
Yeah. I didn't
people
know
look
it was
at
a
it.
thing either.
Yeah.
But I guess sellers are saying, you are keeping me from getting optimum amount for my house because you've got it classified as.
Well, I'm sure they would. Like you look at our area, they would have to classify every single house as high risk because
Wind.
we have tornadoes.
Right.
We're in Tornado Alley. Like, so, and yeah, we have tornadoes all the time, probably 3 or 4 or 5 of them a year, but they usually don't hit your house. I mean, like, knock on wood, I know they hit houses and I know they're devastating, but once every 5 to 10 years, we get one that like totally decimates a community. Otherwise, it's like, oh, your neighbor's house got some siding blown off, or, you know, like it's not the end of the world.
But I think it's great that Zillow is being told, stop it. Just stop it.
Well, Zillow's being told how to run their company lately.
You know what? You can put the price that it's listed for, how many rooms, the square footage. You can do all that, but then you're done.
Mm-hmm. Another headline that we could be seeing soon, because sometimes maybe we like to be ahead of the headlines here.
These are predictions. We should call these predictions.
Ooh, we should do that. We should play that game. We're gonna expand this segment. So, what is your prediction for? I think the FinCEN thing is gonna make it in. So, for those of you that don't know that are listening, and you haven't seen anything yet, and you're a realtor, if you buy a house cash or unconventional financing, meaning not backed by Freddie or Fannie or not FHA, VA, you know, not government insured, they're going to start reporting those purchases to FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. It's a federal agency that tracks financial crimes.
And why is that?
I have no idea. I think it's because people, you know, they're laundering money through that and buying houses. So when you pay cash, there's this, it's like a 3-page form that buyers have to fill out now about where they got their money from and like all of this shit. They're teaching classes and really not on us.
It's true because you don't have to do that.
No, you don't. You could go put $150,000 in a bank account tomorrow and then get a cashier's check and take it to the title company and nobody would ever question you. Which...
Yeah, but when we were
in my head, I'm like, okay, you know,
but
it's not a problem, but
but when we were running Cash for Gold, kiosk, if we took out more than $10,000, we had to fill out a book.
Well, that's where that's where FinCEN came
from. And so it makes sense to look like, okay, you're buying a $500,000 house with cash. Just make sure that's legit money. Yeah.
So it doesn't really fall on realtors. So if you're panicking because you haven't heard about this, the responsibility really falls on title closers or escrow agents. In Missouri, those are our title people. But the title closer has some pretty serious shit if they don't fill it out. So they won't close the transaction if you refuse to report it. So as a realtor, we need to be prepping our clients because it's a 3-page questionnaire about where they got their money from and they're going to flip out about it.
Does it, and I don't know how much you know about it, but does it matter then where the money is? If I had the money buried in my backyard or if I win it at the casino or
no,
like,
I think
how
as
far does it
wherever
go?
the money came from is legal, you're good.
Okay.
I think that's the whole point of it is to.
But I don't know how, if I've been saving it my whole life or my parents died and I found this $500,000 cash, like who's going to say whether that's the truth
or
legal?
I don't know because I haven't seen the forms yet. I've only seen, so they've written the law. It's out to the title companies. ALTA, which is the American Land Title Association, hasn't quite finalized the forms and all of that yet. So, but I'm sure it'll hit the headlines at some point, which is why I don't think it's January 1st. I think they moved it to March. And maybe even April 1st. But that's my prediction.
Any more predictions or we'll save them?
Just mine.
Okay.
You got one?
I don't.
What the floop?
What the floop?
An agent stood outside my open house yesterday and handed out business cards. Is this unethical or a good way of getting business?
A great way of getting business, but it's totally unethical in my opinion.
Can it be C, all of the above? It's pretty crappy.
I do wonder. I mean, handing out your business cards, it's not unethical wherever you hand them out. So
Yeah, but that would be like following another agent on a showing and trying to steal their client. I mean, that's why an agent is doing an open.
Yeah.
There's a realtor in there doing that for that purpose. So it's rude.
Oh, it's 100% rude. But that's not why the agent's in the open house.
Okay.
I mean, and you and I both know that. I get it. But that is not like there's no agreement signed with those people walking in and out of an open house. There's no. So you're really not ethically violating anything because there's nothing to violate. So like you couldn't get accused of going behind the sign or anything like that.
It wouldn't
because
be that, but
yeah.
Because they don't have an agreement with anybody.
But it's rude as fuck.
Right.
Hell.
It's fair. It's fair game, I guess, but
I would not do it.
I mean, if there was tires might be slashed afterwards.
If there was a realtor handing out business cards outside of my open house, I'd be like, what the floop?
Yeah.
Dude, you need to go.
Yeah. Good one.
People do crazy stuff, man. Why? Leech. That's a leech. That's what I would say to that person. Go figure out how to make it on your own. Stop leeching off of me.
Do the open house.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, figure your life out, sir.
Yeah.
You're sad. Or ma'am, whichever you are.
What the floop.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on another week of chaos, closings, and questionable decisions.
If this episode made you laugh, think, or text your real estate bestie like, girl, this is us, do us a favor.
Hit that subscribe button, leave a quick review, follow us on socials, or send us your own unhinged real estate stories. Seriously, we want to share them.
And hey, don't just survive this week. Get out there and build your business.
You've got everything it takes.
We'll be back next week with more chaos and more clarity.
Until then,
Keep waking up to win.